In a time when even thinking about freedom could get you arrested. A time when every book, every idea could seen as a threat to empire. Now imagine someone who dared to speak about independence, not with guns, not with armies, but with ideas. The man was Tan Malaka. He called us many things: a revolutionary, a philosopher, a teacher, or for some, a traitor. But what if I told you that the man who had a dream of a free Indonesia died without grave, erased from history, and only to be discovered as one of the greatest minds this country ever had? This is the story of Tan Malaka, the forgotten father of the Republic. Tan Malaka was born in 1897 in a small village called Padan Gadang, West Sumatra. His real name was Sultan Ibrahim, but later he was known by his family title Tan Malaka. He came from Minangkabau family, people known for their love of learning and also sharp debates. Even as a child, Tan Malaka was curious and also questioning about everything. Other kids playing outside, he devoured every book he could find. And soon his teacher noticed something different. This boy wasn't just smart, he thought differently. At the time, the Dutch colonial government rarely allowed native Indonesia for higher education. But because of Tan Malaka brilliance, he opened the door, a scholarship study in the Netherlands. For a boy from Sumatra Mountain, that was like being launched into another world. Netherlands, Tan Malaka studied to become a teacher, but more important, he studied ideas. He discovered the writing of Karl Marx, Lenin, and other socialist thinkers. But unlike many others, he didn't just follow, he questioned. He began to see how colonialism, it was just about fighting. It was about controlling minds. And also, he realized that freedom couldn't get only from fighting. It had to come from education and awareness. For him, independence wasn't only about kicking out the Dutch. It was about creating a nation that could think for itself. He once wrote, "A people who cannot think fairly will only tread one master for another." That thought became a foundation of his life work. When Malaka returned to Indonesia, he didn't come home for rest. He came for teach. He opened a school in Sumatra, Delhi, teaching workers' children about writing, reading, and also critical thinking. So the school was shut down, Tan Malaka was arrested, and soon after exiled from his homeland. He lived under fake news, moving from Philippines to Singapore, even Germany, Russia, and China. Everywhere he went, he kept writing, spreading the message that Asia could stand on its own. In Moscow, he joined the Comintern Congress and met revolutionaries worldwide. Even Lenin wasn't there, but Tan Malaka still stood apart. Indonesian revolution must be Indonesian. We cannot copy Russia, we cannot copy anyone. He believed no nation should live under another shadow. Because of his life, he wrote his most famous work called Madilog, short for materialism, dialectics, and also logic. Actually, it wasn't just a political book. It was about philosophy thinking. He wanted Indonesians to think more, to base beliefs on reason instead of superstition or blind faith. He wanted a generation that could think freely, believing knowledge was the key to freedom. Without it, he warned independence would only swap one ruler for another. Reading Manilog today, you can even feel his frustration. He was man decades ahead of his time, trying to plant seeds of rationality in a land still trapped by tradition and fear. In 1952, during World War II, finally, Tan Malaka returned back home. But Indonesia was no longer the same, neither was he. He had traveled the world, survived prison, poverty, and betrayal. He came back with one dream left to see Indonesia truly free. When Japan surrendered in 1955 and Sukarno declared independence, Tan Malaka appeared again, almost like a ghost from the past. At first, many saw him as a hero, but politics in a newborn nation is so messy. He founded the Persatuan, Perjuangan, or the Union of Struggle, demanding that independence be absolute, not negotiate with the Dutch, no compromises, no puppet status. But the idealism clashed with the fragile politics to new republic. Soon, Tan Malaka became a threat not to the Dutch, but to the Indonesia government itself. He was arrested again, this time by his own countrymen. The same republic he had dreamed of, the same freedom he had fought for, now saw him as an enemy. After being released, he went underground, still trying to unite rebel group and resist Dutch reconversion. And then, in 1949, in small village in Kediri, East Java, Tan Malaka was captured by Indonesia army. Without trial, he was executed. A single gunshot ended his life. No grave, no justice, no ceremony, just silence. Here's the word forget about him. His book were banned. His name erased from school. Even mentioning his name could get you in trouble. It was as if the new nation he dreamed of was trying to bury him again, this time in memory. But history, no matter how long it's suppressed, always finds a way back. Early 1960s, long after his death, finally President Sukarno declared Tan Malaka as a national hero. After all sacrifice he made, he was recognized as one of Indonesia's founding thinkers. Tan Malaka left behind more than just a book. He left behind a way of thinking. He taught that freedom isn't just about waving a flag. It's about having the courage to think for yourself, even when the whole world tells you not to. He once said, idealisme adalah kemewahan terakhir yang hanya dimiliki oleh pemuda. Idealism is the last luxury only the young can afford. And maybe that's what makes his story timeless. He reminds us that revolutions begin in the mind, long before they happen in the streets. He reminds us that courage isn't just fighting with weapons, it's daring to hold to your beliefs, even when it costs you everything. And most of all, he reminds us that sometimes the true heroes are the ones history tries to forget. Because in the end, Tan Malaka's body may have been buried without a name, but his ideas, his ideals, still live on. The next time you think about independence, remember, it wasn't built only on blood and battles. It was built on thoughts, courage, knowledge, and thoughts. Tan Malaka lived as an outcast. He died as a ghost, but he will forever be remembered as the mind that refused to be silenced. A build can kill man, but not an idea. And Tan Malaka was an idea that never died. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this video helped you to study more about history, especially for Tan Malaka. Thank you. Goodbye.